Famcast Media, bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, persons of all ages, welcome to the most exclusive group in the wrestling community. And now, your hosts, first, from Oaxaca, Puerto Rico, Macho Rodriguez, and his tag team partner from New Brunswick, Canada, God's gift, Tyler.
I think your mic is muted. Definitely. Your mic is muted. There. No. You had it for a second. See right there? See where I'm pointing?
Yeah.
There you are.
All right. Well, I don't know why I did that. It just jumped on its own. I had my hands up in the air.
Okay.
I wonder why I did that. Well, hey guys, this is Macho and Tyler going at it here, and we just had this pretty in-depth discussion via
Even
text.
the mic knows you're about to say some bullshit.
No. I think we're about to find out which one of us is actually right, or if the other one is just being super marky. So we're about to find out right now. Let's see. Me and Tyler's discussion has been going on for how many months now? How long has Judgment Day been going on?
So it's over a year.
Yeah, pretty much over a year. All right. So in this time that we've been talking about the Judgment Day, we have been on completely different sides of the fence. In terms of Rhea Ripley, we agree. In terms of Dom, we agree. In terms of Damian, we agree. We have no disagreements with those guys. Even with Edge, him being in the group, leaving the group, everything. Everything's been great except for Finn Balor. We do not agree with each other in terms of Finn Balor. And here it is, guys. Here's the crux. I believe he's a terrible heel. Tyler thinks he's great. Tyler thinks he's MJF.
I don't think any of those things. I just think he's fine, and you're just looking for something to complain about.
No, not at all. As I said, and I would just like to start it off this way, you believe that he's being a good heel. Now, you made the comment, you believe that Edge, not Adam Copeland. Stop doing that because you're trying to sway the argument. We're talking about only what we see from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's it. That's all we're talking about. We're not talking about their real life. In terms of television, you believe, as you said, that Edge is an asshole, but you love him. He's one of your favorite all-time wrestlers.
Yeah,
right?
the rated R superstar on TV was an asshole.
Absolutely. You loved him, right?
But that was your argument that you're a fan of him, and well, if you shouldn't be a fan of him if he's a good heel. But Edge was a great heel, and I was a fan of him.
Yes, that's not my argument. That wasn't it at all. What I said was you're able to differentiate the fact that he was an asshole, and you were able to point out, hey, Edge was an asshole, but there's the but I love him. What I'm saying to you is there's no one saying that about Finn Balor. You don't see people complaining about him on the internet. There's no, oh, he's changed the channel. You don't see anybody saying, oh, I don't want him to win. What I stated last week for SummerSlam, it felt like the entire world, like the whole globe wanted Finn Balor to win the World Heavyweight Championship. He deserved it, right?
The argument there, though, is that I don't think WWE is gearing themselves, like their programming, towards people like us and those that are on wrestling Twitter that we would follow or wrestling TikTok that we would follow.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
So that's not a good judge of whether someone's a good heel or not, because that's not what they're looking for.
But there is no negative response to him at all. Not a single bit of negativity.
He doesn't get booed when he comes out?
I don't believe so. No, I believe that those are piped in crowd noises.
Oh my God.
Dude, you can't say that that there's piped in crowd noises for every wrestler, but then all of a sudden Finn Balor, no, he's the only natural person.
Never said that.
Not you, but everyone says it. Even Mr. Bobo the Clown, Uncle Dave says all those crowd noises are pumped in. That's what I'm saying.
You think he's an idiot, right? So
I do think he's an idiot.
He's an idiot and he says it, then why is it true?
Some of what he says has to be true. Some of it actually comes true. I mean, the guy is right at least 5% of the time. I believe this is one of those 5%. I do not
more accurate than most people in his position, but that doesn't mean he's good. He's like a weatherman.
I think he ruined professional wrestling. He's been doing it since the 70s. But what I will say is that honestly, I am not saying that Fergal Devitt is bad. I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm not saying I don't like Finn Balor. I think he's a great talent. As Pat would say, he's a pro's pro. The problem that I see is there is no reason to not like him. There is no reason. Like Rhea Ripley, she has heat on her right now for not defending the championship. There is nothing like that for Finn. There's no heat on him whatsoever. And as the great minds of the past, Jim Ross, Jim Cornette, Eric Bischoff, all of these people that are great minds at one point or another in professional wrestling, even the late great Death de Root would say, he needs heat. He has zero heat on him. Everybody wants him to be champion. They want him to win, and he is everyone's first choice to get kicked out of the group.
Well, let me get funky like a monkey here, but I just think he's doing exactly what they want him to do.
So you think that Triple H and creative are telling him, go out there and be so bad at your job that it makes everybody root for you? You don't think that they want him to be booed?
If they were unhappy with his performance as a heel, would he have challenged for the World Heavyweight Championship at 2 pay-per-views in a row? No, he wouldn't.
I don't believe so. I believe he is a Triple H guy, and I believe Triple H is he's gonna set his guys up for great success. He was set up for success. He was never going to win the title. We obviously know that because if they were going to do it, they would have done it at one of the 2 pay-per-views, but they didn't.
Right.
So I believe he's set up for success. The problem is as I've stated, there is zero heat on him. I don't see a reason to dislike him. Every promo he cuts is a fiery babyface. And before we got on,
okay.
Go ahead.
And as I've stated to you, it's different if a babyface cuts that promo or if a heel cuts the promo. If a babyface cuts that promo of, oh my God, I got screwed 7 years ago and you laughed at me, whatever, they're like, yeah, go get him. But if it's a heel, it's like, stop whining.
Okay, so
a crybaby. So he's a crybaby heel.
I don't believe so. I believe he's a Stone Cold Steve Austin Intercontinental Champion heel. I believe he is the guy who had to give up the Intercontinental Championship, because of injury, and he comes back and he's a bad guy. And that's what I look at him. He's that guy. He's the guy who had everything taken away from him. He's been wronged by his body. And he has to come out and he's like, he's trying to blame other people. But in a way, unless you know professional wrestling, unless you're Mick Foley stating on your podcast that bump was Finn Balor's fault, it was not Seth Rollins' fault. Unless you have that level of experience, then what he's stating to the casual wrestling fan would make everybody think, man, Seth Rollins is unsafe and he screwed up Finn Balor's trajectory, which that makes him a babyface.
So you're saying that he's been wrong. So, okay. So then he's still not a babyface regardless. If he's been wronged and he's coming back for retribution and all this and that, that makes him more of an anti-hero than a babyface.
That's still not a heel. There's no reason to boo him. I don't even feel the need for it.
Okay, and I think in this era of WWE and wrestling in general, we should draw our own conclusions about who's what. They don't have labels on them. He associates with heels. That doesn't make him necessarily a heel anyway.
No, yes it does, because they release the report every year and they tell us who the top heels in the company are going to be, who the top faces in the company are going to be. He is slotted as a heel, but he doesn't act.
They tell us.
They release it for us to know. Meltzer says it. Wade Keller says it. Billy Body says it. They tell us these are going to be the top in this in this category.
Holy shit! For somebody who's only right 5% of the time, you're putting an awful lot of stock in what Meltzer says.
But I also named other guys. I also named Wade Keller.
But they're the same. They're the same. He's better than anyone.
No, they're not. No, he's not. He's nowhere near
at the
Billy
top
Body.
of his profession.
No, Billy Body's the top of that profession. He's the one who's right 95% of the time. He's the reason that people pay to find out what he knows.
Just like people pay for the Wrestling Observer newsletter?
That's different. They played for the WCW hotline, but people actually use what Billy Body says. They look for it. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Last night, CM Punk cut a promo after Collision, right?
Yeah,
and it circulated everywhere. Everybody was freaking out, right? Yes, everybody was freaking out about it, right? And it was a great promo. My immediate thought was, they're not going to have him do that after this year that he missed. So, obviously, that's a work. Well, Billy Body just said on the dirt sheets that Adam Cole is pissed. He has a meeting with Tony Khan on Wednesday about that promo. Now, CM Punk's idea is to get such great heat that he has jump across the barricade heat. So CM Punk is a heel. He's going to be a heel, and he's going to do heel things, and that's great. But why?
He's supposed to be a babyface.
No,
Yeah.
I think that's what we thought. I think they're not going to make the Cody Rhodes mistake again, where, as Cody stated after that, he was a heel, but he was being positioned as a babyface. But he said at the end of his AEW run, he was a heel.
Because he's teaming up with babyfaces facing off against heels right now.
Well, I don't think FTR's ever been a babyface team. They've kind of always been a heel team.
Okay, well then all three of them then are really bad heels too, because
CM Punk's not a bad heel.
Well, he isn't, but he's being a bad one right now because he's being cheered.
Where? In Chicago?
Most everywhere except for Canada.
I hear lots of boos. It's always pointed out on the broadcast that the fans are giving him a mixed reaction. He's getting booed a lot. There's a lot. AEW is a niche crowd, and they love their elite.
If he was a heel, he wouldn't be getting a mixed reaction, though. He'd be getting booed, right? People would be complaining about him on the internet. That's what
they are. CM Punk is the most polarizing figure in all of the internet right now. People want him fired.
He's the most polarizing figure in all of wrestling for the past. How long has CM Punk been a top guy?
I don't remember him being in WWE and people hating.
I think he was in the middle. I think there were a lot of people that liked either because they wanted Brian or they wanted somebody else.
Your war with the Brian fans is just
not. That's just an example of when he left, he wasn't the most popular guy because they wanted Brian, and before that they wanted somebody else. He's never been the guy.
When I look at Finn Balor, what I see as stated as I'm going to give our podcast mate the credit. I'm going to say what Pat does. He is a pro's pro. He's reliable, and he's always going to put on a good match. He's that guy. But in terms of getting heat as a heel, he's getting little to none. There are people out there in the wrestling business that are lower on the card that are getting better heel reactions than he is. If he comes out by himself, Dominic? No, he's not lower on the card. I would say he's above Finn Balor at this point.
Definitely not. Was he on SummerSlam?
Has Finn Balor ever main evented 3 televised shows in a row?
Probably, because he probably was teaming with Dominic or Damian or somebody.
No. Why? If that's true, why did Dom on SummerSlam? So would you? Okay, you said Dave Meltzer. He's that. You don't want me to give him any credit. Would you allow me to give the WWE as an actual source? Would you allow me to use that as good, reliable intel? Because they tweeted that Dominic Mysterio is the first wrestler in WWE history to main event NXT, Raw, and SmackDown in the same week. So you're saying Finn Balor did that with him as his tag partner, but
no, I thought you meant 3 Raws in a row.
No. That's what I'm saying. That's what top guys do. What Finn Balor does, that's not what top guys do.
Most of the top guys aren't on NXT, but
But NXT is no longer NXT, as the press release from Endeavor released yesterday.
Yeah, I understand that, but you don't see Brock Lesnar on there. You don't see Roman there.
Mm-hmm.
Those are top guys.
Yeah.
Seth was there once. Beyond that, it's basically been mid-carders.
Okay. Would you have Dominic take the Intercontinental title from Gunther? A bad guy versus a bad guy?
Sure. Well,
how do you develop that story, or how do you get a singles title on Dominic? Because all three mid-card titles, the North American, the Intercontinental, and U.S. title up until last Friday, were all held by heels. He had to beat the one babyface. He beat Wesley, and now they're all heels holding the title. So how do you get a title on Dominic?
maybe he doesn't need a title.
Why? He's
Maybe
young.
he could have been a tag champion.
With who?
Damien. Or Finn.
I don't believe Finn is looked at as a tag wrestler. He's a singles superstar. I don't think Finn's really ever been considered a tag guy.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know that he ever has, but he could be. Like, neither is John Cena, but how many times has he had the tag titles?
Yeah, but it's always like the Shawn Michaels and Austin thing. They just throw them together with somebody.
It
like,
has literally always been against someone he's feuding with.
Yes, exactly. He wrestled Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, and they were tag team champions.
Right.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. That's my biggest crux of this. That's my biggest feeling, is that I see Finn Balor as a guy who is supposed to be getting some sort of heat, and there's no heat on him, ever. And how does that service the actual story that we're being told?
I don't see that there's no heat. I still think he gets a heel reaction when he comes out.
I think the only time he gets a heel reaction is when the four of them are together. When he's out there by himself and
they're basically always together, so it's kind of hard to tell.
No, Finn Balor, when he was feuding before, not the SummerSlam feud, the one before that, the last PLE, when he was feuding with Seth Rollins, he opened the show, or he would have moments where they would use the purple light and he'd be in the ring, and he's not getting heel reactions. Though here's the one thing I will say. He's not getting any heat, but he's also getting the crowd to mess with him. They're doing the 2023 version of the What Chant. They're singing Seth Rollins' song to him. Because what he's saying is so not compelling enough to attract people to want to listen to it.
I just think they're a bunch of narcissistic jerks that just think they're the show. But
okay,
I think that's what that's about.
What I will say is that I believe that the What Chant was designed by Stone Cold as a joke. He said it. He did it on a Christian phone call, Christian voicemail. Yeah. I think fans ran with it. But when I look at Finn Balor, I look at other guys that get the What Chant. I think it's the fans are bored with it. They're like, we don't want to hear what you have to say. Like, dude, this week, Cody Rhodes got Seth Rollins. The fans were chanting his song. But the moment Cody talked, they were listening.
Because he's the top babyface in the company. He's the top hero in the company.
Who would you say is the top heel group in the company? They don't do that. They don't do that shit to Roman.
Nope. I've never said he's Roman Reigns.
Okay, but would you say that Judgment Day is positioned as the bloodline of Raw? They are their own thing. They're on par.
I don't think they're quite at the level that the bloodline was ever at, but sure, they're the top heel group.
Yes, and they're
excellent.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like if you're going to be a heel, if people are going to root against you, then that's exactly what they should do. But I think when the whole world wants you to beat the top two babyface in the entire company, I think that kind of tells me all I need to know, which is, hey, the rest of these three people, there's a reason for us to hate them. Right now, we hate Rhea because she's not working enough. She's not defending her title. That's the heat she's getting. And we hate Dom because he can't win by himself. He needs mommy to help him. We hate Damien because we didn't want him to win the briefcase. We wanted LA Knight to win the briefcase, and because he fucked up Bad Bunny. There's reasons to hate all three of these guys. What's the reason? As Cardi B said in that show, tell me the reason. Tell me the reason. What reason is there to hate Finn Balor?
As I said on our messages previously, he generally does shitty things like interfere in matches, attack people from behind. He's kept the briefcase from Damien multiple times. just long enough for him not to be able to cash in. But I did have a point that I wanted to make that we kind of went when I was talking about. Like, I think he's doing exactly what they want him to do, or he wouldn't have been in the World Championship 2 pay-per-views in a row.
Okay.
I think if he wasn't doing what they want, after that one night where he was trying to cut the promo and they wouldn't stop singing the damn song, they would have gone through with Money in the Bank because it was already announced and everything, and then it would have been a one-off and they would have pivoted. That's if he wasn't doing what they want him to do. I think that's exactly what would have happened.
I think we're watching it unfold with the Bloodline. I think we're watching things like this. Triple H is not going to change booking because the fans in the stands want a specific thing. He's going to stick to his guns, which is why Roman Reigns is going to beat Cody at WrestleMania in Philly, because he wants him to break Hogan's record, and he won't break the record until September of next year. So Roman's going to break. He's going to beat Cody.
Where did we hear this?
That's my belief. And we're watching it unfold. Everything that I've said about Triple H and him believing that it's story over feelings only proves my theory that he's going to absolutely follow the story. And Tyler, would you say that in 3 years of a specific heel group and their story that's being told to us, if the lead counsel or like the manager of that group tells you we're in the bottom of the third, you think that this is going to be like a car tank where like the bottom half is like the smaller half? Do you think that from now till WrestleMania is going to be 6 innings?
Paul has said they're in the bottom of the third. Who was it the other day that said that he thinks they're actually in the 8th?
I don't know. I think
I don't remember who it was, but it was a credible voice.
Okay, but here's what I will say. Credible or not credible, we know that the entire Bloodline is not booked for SmackDown this week. That is a way to elongate the Bloodline storyline. They would absolutely not have not even Solo on there to just dominate someone. There's no one that's going to be at SmackDown this week from the Bloodline, which means it's Edge and Sheamus is the story for this week. It's going to be Edge and Sheamus. It's going to be Rey Mysterio being the United States champion. Those are the stories that we're going to be following.
I was about to not watch SmackDown, so you reminded me of Edge versus Sheamus, because what would be the point? But yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. But see what you just said there? That's why everybody that keeps saying that the Bloodline storyline is stagnant, that it's bullshit, there's people like that, like you right now that just said that. Do you know how many people possibly agree with you that are probably out there right now tweeting saying like on Friday they're going to be like, damn, yo, SmackDown is whack without the Bloodline. Like, give me something.
Yeah, okay.
That's how we know that the story is the number one story in wrestling right now. You know, I mean, yeah, I know that, you know, Conrad and Eric said on their podcast last week that it kind of feels stale and they need something else. And I know Mr. Bischoff said that he believes that the best way to get heat on this story is to have Roman appear more instead of less. Right now, he would have him, like if he had to fix the storyline, he would have Roman appear more. But they're not going to do that, which is why they stick to their guns.
Right, but this would have been just a very easy pivot because he's not really feuding with Finn, he's feuding with the Judgment Day. So they could have had him just face Dom or something. Dom wasn't on the show, he wasn't booked. They could have used him. Yeah,
and that would have been great heat on Dom, but that's my point. People want Finn Balor to be successful. They don't want him to fail. That's not heat.
But I think it's people like you and me, not people like
Everyone wants him to be successful, Tyler. Everybody loves Finn Balor. Tell me I'm wrong.
I will tell you you're wrong.
Go ahead.
What did Arthur say when you asked him about Finn Balor last week? What he thinks of him?
He said he sucks.
All right, then.
That's a 7-year-old that looks at a guy who looks
exactly who they're catering to, though.
I guess, but
the family.
But Arthur's favorite wrestler is Damian Priest. And right now, he's kind of feuding with Damian Priest. If Finn wasn't feuding with Damian Priest, Arthur would have never said that. But it looks like he screwed over Damian. You think he hates Finn Balor just because he hates him? Just because it's like, ooh, I hate what he says? No, Arthur, he probably couldn't tell you a single thing Finn Balor's ever said, and we watch every Raw together. Every Monday night.
What did he say when you told him we were best friends?
Who, you and Finn Balor?
Yeah.
Oh, Arthur has this really strange, I don't know. Come here. What did you say?
What?
Come here.
What?
Cameo, guys. Cameo. What did you say when Daddy told you that Finn Balor and Uncle Tyler were best friends? He wants to know. Huh?
I forget.
You forget?
Yeah.
See, he forgot. He's like Finn Balor's unmemorable. That's what he means.
Welcome to the podcast, Arthur Rodriguez.
He said, welcome to the podcast, bud. I have headphones on, so you're possibly not going to hear him. He's just chilling. He's watching Hannibal. He's a big horror movie freak.
As he should be.
Yeah, that possibly.
That's funny that I just said like Anthony Hopkins isn't really a cannibal.
Oh yeah. No,
He's
well, that's funny that you said that because I consider like there's 5 movies that I personally believe are like perfect movies in cinema, and Silence of the Lambs is one of them. And Arthur's been really obsessed with Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal. So, like, he's a big horror movie fan. He started a couple years earlier than me watching horror movies and enjoying them. At this point, I was watching Candyman and then covering every mirror.
Don't even fucking say that name.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's just the worst. That guy scared me for years.
Still does.
Yeah. Yep. But anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to do on here. I just kind of figure, you know what? Instead of doing this, we can have these impromptu like things for the audience and let them see, let them decide. So guys, if you could just let us know like in the comments, let us know in our on Twitter or on TikTok. Let us know if you agree. Is Finn Balor a good heel or is he a bad heel? Do you believe that he is one of the guys that can be positioned to just garner the heat that a guy like Dominic is getting, or not? Maybe not even Dominic, maybe not that severe, but maybe as much as Austin Theory, because I don't believe that he can even get the heat that Theory gets. I mean, in Theory, one of the lower level heels in the business. What are you not going to say?
He's a bad man, though.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I couldn't think of any other heel that's young or that, you know. Like
you want him to get Wander Franco heat?
Who's that?
The guy, I'll tell you off air.
Oh, okay. No, I just want him to get some heat. I want people to actually boo him. Like I want to see interactions with fans. I want to see people commenting on their what's that show that they have during the week? The Bump. The fans that actually are that they, you know, after they like skim through and allow the comments. I want to see people actually saying negative things about Finn. But all I ever see is like Finn deserves it. Dude, okay, here's what I feel like will be my final. This is my closing argument. If Finn Balor were to win the World Heavyweight Championship, if we can just go back, if he would have won the World Heavyweight Championship last week at SummerSlam, right? On Monday, would he be booed? Or would the crowd chant, "You deserve it"?
Okay, well, here's my argument to that. I'm going to do the high school thing.
All right.
When Kevin Owens won the Universal title, he was a heel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the crowd chanted, "You deserve it."
Well, he actually did deserve it.
Well, yeah, he did. So does Finn.
No, I don't think he deserves it.
Okay, well.
Am I the only person that feels like this title wouldn't mean as much to Finn as if he would have won the SmackDown title? Like I feel like that if he wins that title, and it has nothing to do with World Heavyweight or WWE, it's because that was technically the Universal Championship.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean.
The top guy on the show is the top guy on the show.
Okay, well I'll put it to you this way: Daniel Bryan is a 6-time world champion. Okay, and 6-time or 4-time. He might have the exact number as HBK. But when he won the World Heavyweight Championship, nobody talks about that run. Everybody talks about him as the Planet's champion. People don't even realize that man won the world title at SummerSlam. He won the world title at Night of Champions. Okay? Then he won the world title on SmackDown. People don't even realize that he's a 4-time champion. He's a 4-time world champion. Yeah.
Do they count the Night of Champions one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They just stripped him the next night. They didn't pull a Jericho.
They didn't invalidate. So, what are you talking about? That didn't happen.
Yeah. That's my favorite Raw memory ever.
Your favorite memory is something that never happened.
Yeah, that's right. Just like we can't see John Cena.
Exactly.
We'll wrap it up with this. I saw this really great tweet, and it was behind the scenes at WrestleMania 30, and it was Rock, Hogan, and Austin. And the tweet actually said, the 4 greatest wrestlers of all time. And I laughed my ass off. I thought it was hilarious. I thought that was brilliant. I was like, wow, that was great. Yeah, I saw it. I was like, what? And I actually counted them, and I was like, oh, I get it. I thought that was great. Okay. Yeah. In terms of money, that tweet's probably correct. But just like Seth Rollins says, there's different Mount Rushmores. There's
I like
people
that
draw, and then there's obviously the other ones, and the other ones, obviously, Brett, Shawn, those guys are definitely in it. So, yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, guys. This was an impromptu episode. Excuse some of the snafus in the beginning of the episode. This, as I said, was impromptu, and we are still learning. This was only our second live together, but we're going to try to do more of these. Let us know if you like us arguing like this, because me and Tyler have these arguments a lot, and I promise you, to give you a sneak peek, when we talk about the Montreal Screwjob, you guys will want to tune in. So we're trying to garner enough audience so that way you guys can actually get into this with us. But when you do, you're buckle up, because that Montreal Screwjob, that episode is going to be hot.
Yeah. Excuse my chest hair, unless, of course, you like it, and then I'll just do it every week.
No, yeah, there you go. I mean, there's ladies out there. There you
Let
go. You could be somebody's grizzly bear.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, guys, we're out.
Out.